I see so many good things happening. And now part of this is that I've really lowered my expectations. And I've also become, I think, more, my understanding of the change that we're involved with has gotten much deeper. So I've lowered my short-term expectations, right? And I expect things to get a lot worse before they get a lot better. And in fact, I think what will make things get better is all the things getting worse. I'll just tell you the ones that come to mind. First thing that encourages me, for the first time in Christian history, feminist theology, Black theology, Latinate theology, Asian theology, indigenous theology, queer theology, all these different kinds of theologies that are people who have incredibly important perspectives to offer, both looking at the past, looking at the present, looking at the future. They're actually in the game. And the white patriarchal theology that has dominated Christianity will only maintain its hegemony in places of fundamentalism. So all those things are happening in very, very exciting ways.
And, Brian, to your point that fundamentalism has been with us, there'll be a form of it staying with us, and it shows up in our religious constructs. Don't you think, when you start reading a couple academic papers on the psychology of religion, the sociology of religion or of belief, you start seeing that the reason fundamentalism has been with us, will continue to stay with us. It's a psyche issue, right? We find it then in our supernatural constructs, but the issue lies in our humanness, right? Our fears, our differences, right?
Yeah. In fact, I'd say it's psychological and sociological, and you mash those two together. If you go back in history, the relationship between authoritarian leaders and religious leaders of a certain sort is so deep. Of course, these are features of human society, but inevitably, unless we learn better ways of living with ourselves and others and the earth, we'll keep repeating those cycles. Yeah.
Okay. So, Brian, does the future Jesus end up the King of Kings? Is the future Jesus a monarch? And by the way, in the church I am the minister in now, we don't have any monarch language in our church. So, is the Bible still authoritative? From our systematic theology classes, the authority of the scriptures.
First of all, David, I am absolutely thrilled to hear that your congregation has tackled this issue of monarchy, and so maybe I could say it in two ways. In the Jewish and Christian traditions, and that plural is there are many Jewish traditions and there are many Christian traditions, right? So but in them, we could say that images for God have been very focused on king-related images. But here's the thing. A king is a metaphor. And the metaphor arose in a historical context. So if the first kings emerged sometime in the last 12,000 years, nobody ever could have said that God was a king before 12,000 years ago. Such a thing didn't exist, right? It didn't exist. But the idea of king became so deeply embedded in human societies for a very, very, very long time that then we took an idea in our society and we projected it onto the universe. And then when we did the same, when we said that God was the king, we projected it on the entire cosmic reality.
No, it's so good, Brian. So good.